Hi, I'm Mary of ferventfoodie.com, and today we're making Buffalo Bleu Tailgate Bars. This is a recipe that was developed by Sally Foster, a culinary student at Johnson & Wales, as a part of the Tropical Foods Recipe Contest. What I love about this recipe is it takes the flavors that we love of buffalo wings, it takes the hot sauce and the blue cheese, and it puts them in bar form. So not only is it easier to eat and carry along to parties, but it's just an interesting spin on flavors that we already know and love. And the recipe is actually really simple, which is another thing I love about it. It follows the basic baked good recipe. You're going to put all your dry goods in one bowl, your wet ingredients in another bowl, and then we combine. So we'll start with our flour and our salt. And we'll get those mixed together. Just a quick mix to combine. Okay. In the large bowl, we'll go with our eggs. I always like to crack the eggs first, just in case I get some shells in there. Never a good thing to have in your baked goods. 4 eggs here. Okay, to the eggs we're going to add our brown sugar. Use the same fork that we used for the flour. We just want to stir these to combine. The brown sugar is what gives the bars their golden color. It almost reminds me of cornbread, even though there's no corn in the actual bar. It has the consistency and the color of a really good cornbread. Okay, once those are combined, we're going to add our melted butter. Give those a stir again. The sugar and the eggs make a really thick, syrupy mixture. So it takes a little elbow grease to get the butter combined in there. If you want, you can switch arms so you don't have one big bicep on one side. All right, when that's just about combined, we want to add our flour mixture to the egg mixture. Okay, now we finally have all the flour mixed in. We're gonna add the Tropical Foods buffalo nuts. This is what gives the bars all the flavor. They're kind of spicy and they give a little crunch to the bar. I'm gonna switch to my spatula, get those nuts incorporated. Just wanna fold the nuts in so they're evenly distributed. And these nuts just have a rough chop on them. You could actually use whole nuts if you wanted to. I've done it both ways, and both ways, very good. Okay. Once those are combined, we just want to get our 13x9 baking pan. What I like to do, since this recipe does have a lot of butter in it, is I just save the butter wrappers and I use that to butter my pan. It adds a lot of extra flavor, and you know, why waste the butter on the wrapper? Just make sure you get the butter all into the corners of the pan so it doesn't stick. Okay, and then we just pour our batter into the pan. It smells great, it smells like hot wings. Love that smell. Okay, and then just use your spatula to even out the batter. It doesn't need to be perfect, you just want it to be pretty uniform so that they cook evenly in the oven. And these are going to cook at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes. You want the bars to be set in the middle, and again, they'll have the consistency of cornbread. Once you have the batter evenly distributed in the pan, you want to pop them into the oven. What makes these bars really special is the icing. It's a little untraditional, but there's actually blue cheese in the icing, and the blue cheese is the perfect companion for the buffalo nuts. It's got that flavor profile we all love, the hot and the buffalo blue cheese. So the icing starts out with a little butter. We want this to be softened, but not melted. We're going to use our mixer to cream the butter till it's nice and light and fluffy. Once the butter is nice and creamy, we're going to add our blue cheese. Now when you're selecting a blue cheese for this recipe, you want to pick one that's kind of lighter in color. First time I made it, I grabbed a blue cheese that was really blue and really pungent, which I was really excited about for the recipe. But the blue color actually made the icing a bluish green tint, which isn't very appetizing. So you want to look for one that's a little whiter. We're just going to crumble the blue cheese right into the butter. Break it up a little with our fingers. Once we have the blue cheese in the bowl, we're going to cream it together with the butter again with the mixer. And then the last ingredient in this really simple frosting is just some powdered sugar. Usually when I use powdered sugar in an icing, I sift it beforehand so it's not lumpy, but in this case we have lumps from the blue cheese, so there's really no point in taking the extra step to sift the sugar. Okay, then we're just going to mix those until combined. It's going to seem like there's not enough liquid in the icing, but just keep working and eventually it'll come together in a nice thick frosting. Now that the icing is combined, we just need to wait for the bars to cool. It's important that you let the bars have some time outside of the oven so that they can reduce in temperature, because if you spread this yummy icing on top of the hot bars, it's just going to melt. So you want the bars to be a little warm, just a little warm to the touch, but not hot, and that way the icing still stays together. Once the bars are iced, you can garnish with a little of the Tropical Foods buffalo nuts, and that's the Buffalo Bleu Tailgate Bars.